Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Recently, we've been talking a ton about Warzone Mobile, except everything we've talked about with Warzone Mobile has nothing to do with Warzone Mobile. Instead, it has to do with MW2 and Warzone 2 and even COD 2024. And today, we're back on the MW2 Leaks, courtesy of Warzone Mobile, which has given us a ton of new gameplay details relating to DMZ and apparently even some Battle Royale, some Warzone as well. On top of that, Tom Henderson also recently put out a new article talking more about DMZ and its current status in the Call of Duty universe and when we can expect it. So as we break everything down today, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Let's try and aim for 2,000 likes on this one. And if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with the latest leaks, updates, news, loadouts, everything in COD. You're gonna find it right here. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. So first up, let's talk Tom's newest blog post. If you guys don't know the name Tom Henderson by now, well, you do. You were just first introduced to it. Tom, we've talked about a lot on the channel in the past. He's one of the most credible and consistent insider sources for leaks and rumors regarding a ton of different games. Call of Duty, any other major AAA title. The man has built a very credible track record over the course of the past couple of years. And he recently put out a new post saying that DMZ is not going to be a free-to-play title. You might recall that a few weeks back we talked about how news came out that DMZ may in fact be getting pushed back to 2023 and launch as a free-to-play title standalone from MW2. And then in MW2 we'd have single-player, multiplayer Spec Ops there, DMZ in 2023, and then also Warzone 2 later on this year, likely in November or December. But Tom's now saying DMZ not a free-to-play title, and instead it is going to launch with MW2 as an alternative mode, meaning it would of course be locked behind that paywall of MW2's base game, which is, I believe, $70 is the base price now because of next gen, so it would be locked behind that. Obviously, if you're looking forward to DMZ as a free-to-play title, that's not the best news, but it being locked behind a paywall in theory would help with the cheating situation. Obviously, Ricochet is a decent anti-cheat. It's definitely not, you know, a 100% combatant, though. There's going to be cheaters regardless, so locking that behind that paywall could potentially help out there and make that gameplay experience a little bit more enjoyable and a little bit more smooth, you could say. But moving on, let's get into some of these gameplay details, because there's actually a lot of stuff that was referenced in the Warzone Mobile files that has to do directly with DMZ, but also some of Battle Royale and Warzone 2, it seems, based off of at least the headers for these files in game. Some of them will be MP_DMZ and then whatever it is they're referencing, which obviously are DMZ files, believe it or not. Other ones would be like MP_BR, which presumably is Battle Royale. It could very well have to do with DMZ as well, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to that. But as always, when it comes to data mined files, leaks, and rumors like this, take everything with a grain of salt. This is still subject to change. We're obviously still a ways out from launch, so these things can be scrapped, updated, changed in certain ways. They are not 100% set in stone. This information is courtesy of Reality. Back prior to when he started dropping all the images for all the multiplayer maps and whatnot, and got his account absolutely nuked by Activision. They dropped the 25 kill streak there and just DMCA'd the heck out of him. But we were able to see some of these files prior to that. So these DMZ files apparently reference points of interest, I would assume, and aspects that could supposedly interact with those locations. You'll see what I mean here. We see an area of gas station mentioned, and then a little bit later on in the files we see SUV 1996. So an SUV, a vehicle from 1996 there. If there's a gas station, presumably you'd be able to go in there and actually get like a gas can and fill up your car, because later on, spoiler alert, you have the ability to drive cars, or vehicle drive actions are in the game apparently. So that could supposedly be a thing in game that could help you maneuver across the map. Now, we don't know if that's going to be limited to just DMZ and have that realism of having an actual gas tank in your car that could go on empty, or if that'll be, you know, transferred over into Warzone, into whatever else potentially we could have. We'll have to wait and see, but that's an interesting point. There was UAV tower mentioned in the files. I imagine this is probably something like what we see on Rebirth now with the various communication towers. I think a lot of some of the new additions that we're seeing in Warzone recently are testing stuff for Warzone 2 and for DMZ to get some player reception and also fine-tune how they work in game for what it's worth. We also see a train mentioned. Of course, We're no strangers to trains. We had one on Verdansk, so that could be an aspect of the maps for DMZ or the Warzone 2 map, since apparently they could be sharing the same map. And then also exfil was mentioned, which sort of reiterates all the leaks and rumors that we've heard up until this point about DMZ being a Tarkov based mode where you go in, you try and loot certain things, and then you want to exfil and get out of that area with the stuff that you looted. So that was the first set of initial strings and references in the game. We also have various missions that were mentioned as well. So here we've got things like safe find. So you're looking to try and find some kind of safe in a building or a certain area on the map. Also safe loot. So once you do find said safe, you can crack it and get loot out of there. There are things that reference VIPs and hostages. You may recall that Prisoner Rescue, the multiplayer mode that we talked about with the MW2 reveal initially, also has to do with rescuing various hostages as well. There's Fortress Search, which kind of sounds like we're looting a giant fortress area, pretty self-explanatory. Secret Stash, which I hope would indicate that there's some kind of Easter eggs or secret steps that we can discover to actually find like enhanced loot. Then also, as I mentioned earlier, Vehicle Drive. Now, the next set of strings and files that were data mined reference things you can find, but also some of these have the header of MP_BR. So we're not exactly sure if they are meant for Warzone 2 and Battle Royale, or if they'll also be in DMZ and they'll just be a mixture of both. But some of these are kind of strange. I'm not going to go through every single one, more so just the ones that stood out to me. We have valuable liquor. So, you know, there could be some more high tier loot that has higher value to it. We have things like Fortress Key, obviously referencing back that Fortress Search mission from earlier. We have Plate Carrier, which is actually something we've heard about before. Supposedly you won't be able to carry any plates until you pick up some armor or a plate carrier, so that could be a thing. Then also there were things like pictures of a cat, pictures of a dog. I don't know why, but they were in there. And then lastly, we have a few different areas that were referenced as well in the files, including Fortress, believe it or not. Also Hydro, Quarry, which presumably could be Quarry from MW2 in 2009. We've already heard that could be one of the returning maps, especially on the Warzone map. It was said to be there for the new Warzone 2.0 map. And then finally, Resort. Who knows if that's like a leftover file from Caldera right now, or if it's a new resort area. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see, but quite a few different gameplay details mentioned, again, in the Warzone mobile files. For what reason? I don't think anyone truly has any idea, but they're there and they are giving us a lot of alleged information on MW2 and all the modes within it. So DMZ sounded pretty interesting, especially if it has big crossovers with Warzone 2, because of some of those files also having the BR header. As we get any new information on this, though, you guys already know I got you covered as soon as it drops. We're gonna be talking about it here on the channel, so stick it here for that and everything else going on in COD, news, updates, loadouts. You'll find it here. Make sure you're subscribed with those noties turned on, and if you enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.